I know! Got low back pain? Well, we're gonna show you ways to relieve it. So let's get started, Bear.
Disclaimer alert, disclaimer alert.
So all these ways to relieve back pain are going to be seated, just to make sure that those people who have a hard time getting down and up can easily do these. So the first one is just going to be a seated cat-cow. So with the cat-cow, if you've seen some of my videos before, a lot of times you're kind of on all fours and it might be a little bit uncomfortable for some people. So you can do the same thing seated. So what we're going to do is just go into a cat first and then go into a cow. So if you think about the cat arching back their back, you're going to kind of slump down, arch your back and tuck your chin in. So I'm coming down this way and then you're coming back into that cow, looking straight up and then pushing your hips forward, getting that nice stretch. Just a little pause. It can be a 3 to 5 second pause. It doesn't have to be a full 30-second stretch. And then come back down. You're rolling your hips back. You're arching your back, tucking in that chin, and then coming back up. Really bring that chin, head up towards the ceiling, and then push those hips forward and then come back in. So you can do maybe 5 each way. Again, a 3 to 5 second hold. If it feels good, you can definitely hold it for longer, but you don't have to. So then the next one is going to be a figure 4 stretch or a piriformis stretch, a glute stretch, because a lot of times with that low back pain, those muscles can cause some irritation there. So it's a super simple, kind of like it sounds, what you're doing is making a figure 4 with your leg. So if this side is the side that's bothering me, I'm going to bring this foot up and over. And if I look down, it's kind of a figure 4 position. Now, sometimes if your hips are tight, it's hard to bring that leg all the way up. So you can slide the bottom leg out and maybe start off with your ankle below the knee. That makes it sometimes a little bit easier to get that stretch. But if you can get it above the knee, sometimes just this position, you're going to feel that stretch in your hip. And the hip and the low back are all connected. So if your hips are tight, a lot of times your back is going to be hurting or sore. So the key to this is keep your back straight. A lot of times people want to kind of curl under and they're like, I don't feel any stretch. Well, that's because the muscles you're trying to stretch are in that hip area. So keep that back straight and just lean forward, bringing your hips forward. And see, just right there, I can feel a stretch in there. So I can go, if I'm curling my back, I can go really far forward. But if I'm keeping that back straight and leaning in, I can really feel that stretch. So this is going to be a full 30-second stretch. And then you're going to switch sides and then do 3 on each side. So again, if this is a little uncomfortable, if this is hard to get your hip up and you're like, maybe I can't bring my ankle or my foot all the way up, you can even start further down the leg. So you might feel a stretch right here and then lean into it. And then as you progress and as you go, doing that for a couple days and then moving on, you can bring it up higher and higher because you're getting that better stretch. So 30 seconds, 3 on each side. Another great way to help relieve low back pain is using TENS, transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation. And the folks at Soterix sent me their PainX TENS Therapy. One of the things I like about TENS units that are wireless is you don't have to worry about getting all those cords out of the way. And especially with low back pain, you can put the TENS unit on and you can still go about your day and do activities. I've used a TENS unit before and gone for a walk, so it's not like you just have to sit there and not do anything. So when it's wireless, it makes it really nice to be able to put it on and still kind of continue throughout your day. What I also like about this is the pad or the electrode pad is just one kind of long piece, especially for the low back when you're putting it on. I've had people say, when you have a lot of electrodes, it's hard to kind of get the placement on there. But the way this is, it's very easy just to put it back there. With TENS units, a lot of times you don't have to be exact. If you're using EMS, that's a little bit different. You want them in a little bit more specific places. But with the TENS, you just want it in that general area of pain. So having this kind of one piece is really nice to be able to get it in the spot that you want to. You can also use it in other areas of the body. It can go on your arm here, on your legs. So it doesn't just have to be for the low back. But again, I like that it's a lot easier to put the placement in the area that you want to. If you're having low back pain, again, sometimes having like 4 electrodes is kind of hard to do it. So you can just, kind of lift up and put it on there. So again, you don't see, I wasn't doing, nice and slow and putting it here and putting it here, but in general, you want it kind of in the middle of that low back. So you can see here that it's kind of got that line. And so that would be maybe where your spine is. And so there's one on each side. And with a TENS unit, it's okay to cross the spine. If you're using EMS, you wouldn't want to cross the spine. So that's really nice. And it also comes with a smaller electrode as well. So again, you can do it maybe, on smaller areas of the body or in more specific spots. So if you're interested in purchasing the TENS unit, you can click on the link up there. So the next stretch is going to be a QL stretch or a quadratus lumborum stretch. And that quadratus lumborum is a muscle in the low back that's a lot of times forgotten about, but it can cause a lot of pain in the low back. So an easy way to stretch it while you're sitting is take the hand to the side that you're not stretching. So if I'm stretching this side, I'm going to sit on this hand. And it's nice because it kind of gives me a target because I'm going to be pushing my weight over into that hand. I want to shift my weight over onto that side. And so it's a good little target so you can feel that you're shifting your weight. Then take the hand of the side that you want to stretch and just bring it up first. Then shift your weight over to that other side and then reach your hand up as high as you can and bring it over. So now I'm feeling that stretch all the way through there and in my low back. The more you can come over, shift that weight and then kind of push the upper body up and over, and you're going to get that nice stretch in there. And then holding that stretch for 30 seconds. You can see I'm looking up into my hands. Sometimes I feel like that gives me a better stretch. And then again, holding that stretch for 30 seconds. Switch sides. I usually switch sides in between, but you can do them all on one side if you want to. Like I said, I like to switch just to give each side a little break. Shift that weight over onto that hand and then up and over, get that push, 30 seconds, and then doing that 3 times on each side. And then the next one is just one of my favorites, especially when you're in sitting, just to kind of get the whole back. So this is low back, upper back, mid back, everything. And I just call it a chair roll down. It might have another name to it, but that's what I call it because it's just kind of like what it sounds. You're sitting in a chair and you're just going to roll your body down. So this one is just, you're going nice and slow and you're just going to as far as you can go. So some people might not be able to go all the way touching their hands to the floor, but that's kind of the ideal that you want to ideally touch your hands to the floor, but you don't have to, just kind of bring them down, but you're rolling your back. A lot of times when you, if you've seen some of my videos, when you hear me talking, I say keep your back straight. This time you actually want to roll your back down, curling that back. So I'm just going to place my hands kind of in between my legs, tuck in my head, and just kind of roll my whole body down until I touch the floor. And then just kind of hold it and then slowly in reverse kind of roll it back up. So I'm not just going up and down, I'm truly rolling that body. If you want your hands on the outside, you can just kind of rolling down. Once you get down there, you can hold it. You can do that full 30-second stretch if you want to hold it there, and then nice and slow roll it back up. If one side is bothering you a little bit more than the other, you can take your hands. So if I want to stretch this side a little bit more, I take my hands to the opposite side and just kind of roll down to the outside and then roll back up. So you don't have to hold it down there for a full 30 seconds, but you want to kind of keep going as you can and get that nice full stretch because it should feel nice and relaxing and comfortable while you're doing it. So there you have it. Those were ways to relieve low back pain. If you're interested in purchasing the PainX TENS Therapy, click on the link up there. And remember, be safe, have fun, and I hope you feel better soon. Yeah!